Mojang is always 2 steps ahead of us. And I know what you're thinking. That statement is kinda off topic for the video at hand. And while I understand where that's coming from, I have never seen a company so refined in how its mechanics work. This, to me, is most prevalent in ore generation. Every ore in the game functionally uses the same rules of spawning, just with a few numbers changed. That is, except for ancient debris. And understanding those mechanics will lead us to the answer we want. This involves an amount of probability and statistics I have never done before on this channel, and hopefully even a fact checker. So that begs the question, .4% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed to my channel. I'm trying to get that down to a funny number, so if you could subscribe, that would be amazing. Understanding what's going on in this video might be a daunting task for some, and that's okay. I'm making this video specifically so that everybody can at least understand what is going on, even if you don't understand the math. The first half of this video will be entirely dedicated to explaining how big an ancient debris vein can be in Minecraft. The latter half of this video is going to solely be focused on the probability of this giant vein happening. Even if you're not fully familiar with probability and statistics, I would suggest sticking around for the math just to see how it works. Even if you don't fully understand it, I think you'll find it interesting. It also really helps if you watch at least 50% of the video, so if you can do that, that would be amazing. So, without further ado, enjoy this video. One of the biggest things that tripped me up when I first made this video is that ancient debris can spawn in 2 veins per chunk. One chunk is 16 by 16 by 256 blocks tall, and usually, like all other ores, they can only spawn once per chunk, but netherite's different. Independent ore generation is what I'm coining this phenomenon that's going to be very common in the new 1.18 update. My definition of this new coin term is 2 Java protocols that work entirely separate from each other when generating an ore vein of the same type in a single chunk. Remember how I said one chunk is 256 blocks tall? Well, each of those blocks corresponds to a Y value, and in this scenario, 1 to 3 blocks of ancient debris can spawn at Y value 8 to 22, and 1 to 2 blocks of ancient debris can spawn at Y axis 8 to 119. And since these protocols have nothing to do with each other, it's possible for them to connect. So theoretically, the maximum amount of ancient debris that can spawn in a single chunk is 5. And when they're really close together, it becomes indistinguishable from a giant ancient debris vein. Anybody who saw my diamond vein video knows what's gonna happen next. If this exact thing happens in the 4 neighboring chunks at the corner of the chunk that the 5 vein originally happens in, then they can all conjoin together into one big mega vein. "20 ancient debris, 5 netherite ingots, enough to get a full set of netherite armor plus a tool of your choice in a single vein. This is mathematically possible. And I know what you're thinking. Do I have a Discord down in the description to try to find this thing? Do I have a team of people working on Java to see if we can find it? Well, before we do anything, I think we have to answer an important question. You know what? No, I have done this math 10 times. Do you think I'm gonna take the time to make it so that you can understand what is going on here? Absolutely not. You are going to throw through all the pain that I have gone through trying to make a viral video. So buckle up, cause I'm not slowing down. Phew, sorry. Got a little heated there. But either way, there's about a 50% chance that the smaller vein spawns with the max that it can have, which is 2, and there's a 1 in 3 chance that the bigger vein spawns with its max, which is 3. All we gotta do, like statisticians or whatever, however you pronounce it, do, is we just multiply them together and we get a 1 in 6 chance that both veins in one chunk are max. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated because we have an 111 block spawn space, and we're gonna give the smaller vein a 2 block give so that we can divide it into 55, meaning there's a 1 in 55 chance of it spawning in an area where the other vein can spawn. And I'm gonna keep it at 155 because we also need the Y coordinates to match up, so we're not gonna give it any headroom on where it can spawn in that tiny chasm. Alright, so we have the other one, which we're gonna give a 3 block give because its max is 3 netherite in a vein, so that's 14 blocks divided by 3, which will give you around a 1 in 5 chance of it spawning at the same Y value area as the other one. Now, we have 1 over 6 times 1 over 55 times 1 over 5, which is a 0.0006% chance of the 5 vein spawning with the correct Y values, which is equivalent to around 1 over 1,650. Oh, but dear viewer, this is a 3-dimensional game, which means we have to calculate the X values, which means we're gonna have to go back to the size of chunks and do 16 by 16, which is 256, divide that by 9 because they have a 3 block headroom, and that gives you a 1 in 28 chance of spawning in a certain area, and then 256 divided by 4 because the smaller one has a smaller headroom, which is a 1 in 64 chance of it spawning in that particular area. Then we do 1 over 6 times 1 over 55 times 1 over 5 times 1 over 28 times 1 over 64, which is the 0.0000038% chance of a 5 vein of ancient debris forms in a chunk. But hold on, chunks are 3-dimensional, so we're gonna have to take that and divide it by 1 over 28 because it has to be at a corner, and we get the 0.000000136% chance that it spawns at the corner of a chunk. But oh, wait again, guess what? This has to happen in 4 other chunks because then that's how we get the 20 vein because it's 5 times 4 equals 20, so it has to happen in all 4 chunks. When you think you'd multiply by 4, but no, you have to set it to the power of 4 because you have to get that 0.000 chunk to happen in every single one of those chunks, and you finally get. This number scares me. Just to waste your time a little more, there's around an 8% chance that this even occurs across all 18 quintillion Minecraft seeds. So I basically just wasted 10 minutes of your life. Yeah, sorry, that's my bad. Subscribe so I can quit my boring retail job. Subscribe. JK, you don't have to, but subscribe.